Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Resident Evil 2 Remake on BrainScratch Commentaries. And we haven't really gone super in-depth on the art style for this game yet, have we?
Uh,
It's pretty much a continuation of what they established in 7. Because at this point, the RE engine is already well established.
Yeah, I know.
By that I mean one game.
But I mean as compared to the original game. What we've got here is, I would term it as slightly less realistic than the Resident Evil 7 art style, because they definitely wanted to implement some of the 90s stylistic choices that they made, like Leon's hair, or Claire being badass biker chick. But they really toned down the 90s, like a lot.
well, it's almost like any given time period isn't a stereotype of what we think of it.
Yeah. And it's interesting to me because, like, over this last year or two, we've started to see more games that, instead of being super de-duper realistic, which I've honestly become kind of fatigued about these last the last like decade or so, games trying to be really gritty realistic. We're seeing more games that are pioneering this sort of hybrid of stylized and realistic. Resident Evil 2 being one of the more mild examples of that. But we've also got...
Not to say that a gritty realism can't sell or stay, but I feel a more stylistic setting has more staying power.
Well, I feel like we still aren't at the place where we can get like a full-on realism thing to look actually fully realistic. You know?
I literally used all my shotgun ammo, and the moment I pull out my goddamn gangster handgun, just eyeball explodes, one shot. Okay.
Not the gangsta sign.
Honestly, Ted, I don't think we ever will.
Well, I'm not gonna say never because 400 years from now, who knows? But
We won't be alive.
oh yeah, that's true. But
I want my holodeck, damn it.
I just find it interesting that we're seeing art styles that blend realism with not realism. Like Devil May Cry 5 is another example, and we're seeing a much more extreme version of that in the Resident Evil 7 remake, where the objective of the art style seems to be not so much to do things super realistic, but to make an art style in which you can believe that someone can hold a sword that goddamn big and have a hairstyle that goddamn spiky and oh god. It's a time to be alive, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's wonderful for me because
Yeah, 7 remakes would be great.
the only place that you would really see that kind of art style going on, I think, is in like Square Enix's CGI. Only in their CGI, because in their games things were marginally less nice looking, even in, like, say, Final Fantasy 13. But then they go and come out with Final Fantasy 15, and okay, it's still like 2% anime, but the 2% anime is mostly concentrated around eye shapes and little details like that.
You're talking strictly visual
I'm talking
style.
strictly visual style, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the story is anime trash as hell. Let's be real. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's cool to see games that can sell that kind of illusion. Not necessarily like really sell it, but sell it enough that you can get immersed visually into that world. Like, you can shut your brain halfway off and imagine a world where, yeah, that kind of stuff does kind of make sense, even if it doesn't.
In a world where people look
Until you
vaguely
start flipping
realistic,
off
but
walls.
also really cool and anime.
Yeah, and it's so weird to think of that because it feels like not long ago when we were looking at Dragon Ball Evolution. Oh god, I just threw up in my mouth a little.
That's so long ago. So sick about that? You should probably get that looked at.
That was one of our earlier movie commentaries, wasn't it?
we do movie
first.
commentaries.
It was the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was really early on.
If you're gonna build up a more realistic style, I also feel you kind of limit your options on what kind of game you want to make. You know,
I
because to
mean,
me, the
sort
point
of.
to me personally, I think the point of creating a realistic looking game is to really to try and sell that to the audience. And if you still want to incorporate them hanging on ceilings or
Well, I mean, I
know.
wouldn't say that's not necessarily the case, because the poster boy for a game that's supposed to be like the best looking, most realistic game of all time, for that time anyway, is Crysis, which came out in like 2007. And that game is wacky, stupid hijinks the entire way through. Like, I mean, I know that most people don't know what kind of game Crysis is, because Crysis isn't a game anymore, it's a meme. But, like, Crysis is a game about, like, alien invasions and stuff, and you can do all sorts of wacky physics bullshit in that game. So, like...
To me, I think if you're gonna put so much emphasis on trying to sell how realistic the graphics are, then I think you just limit yourself.
It's
based on genres.
When it comes to graphics realism, though, it's the problem it brings with it is tonal balance. You can't have things that are ridiculous to the point of clashing, and that comes down to costume design, anatomy, the stuff
which
the
is
characters
why we'll
do.
never get ultra realistic Mario. So stop asking for it.
Yeah.
Taking no prisoners.
Does anybody even
Yeah.
want that, though?
I'm pretty sure there are.
Yeah, but do they count? Like, are they real people?
It depends how much money they're pulling. Probably the same
Man,
party in
you
yachts.
you can never tell for sure whether people really want something on the internet or not, or whether
Yeah, because people are really quick to meme shit, and you can't take that as like serious.
Even-
Hey, everyone's making fun of Tommy Wiseau. Let's give him an animated series.
even
He's not joking.
even before you get to the memes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh.
Ryan is not joking at all. Tommy Wiseau has an animated series.
I mean, go ahead, Louis. I don't want to
Yeah, go on.
derail the conversation.
I don't know who that is, but it sounds like
The guy from The Room.
oh,
You tear me apart, Lisa.
that guy. Yeah,
That
even
guy.
I know who that guy
Yeah.
is. No, please
Can
no.
can we stop making meme products and buying them for to lulz? Because that's what we keep getting
Okay.
instead of actually good shit.
Okay, so what was I even saying? I lost my track. Tonal balance,
You
right.
so?
Tonal balance in games, okay? You can have realistic shit that does crazy stuff. Just look at the Yakuza series. But it has to be done in a way where it doesn't clash. So you have to know exactly which elements are too ridiculous to be organic in that setting. So, when you
Because
have...
I mean, like, that makes a good amount of sense, because like you can have even stuff that you could consider farcical could still work, because we have like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. All things considered, it's low budget, but it looks like real life because it's a real life movie. They they recorded with real actors though, but that's not.
It's also almost like the Middle Ages were cheap as shit and they didn't have fancy,
yeah,
swords and decorations and crap.
yeah, exactly.
Well, in Monty Python and the Holy Grail's case, the costumes and shit look phony, but that feels like it's part of the joke, so it works, But comedy is like a straight-up comedy. You don't have to worry about tonal balance as much because you're trying to balance funny with funny. It's harder when you have a mix of comedy and seriousness, which is why I bring up the Yakuza series, which can be the wackiest fucking thing on the planet 5 minutes after you just got done some really serious plot exposition. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I went from like a really goddamn gripping main story plot to immediately chasing a pop idol's wig down the street, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
This is the life and times of Kiryu.
it wasn't. It was Judgment, so it was Yagami. But
This is the light of Yagami.
yeah. Judgment is a great game, by the way. You all should play it. It's a good entry point to the series too, because it's a completely new cast of characters, so you don't have to worry about 5 games of plot and story baggage.
Is Eye Patch Guy in it?
Majima? No, I don't think any of the characters from Yakuza are in it. But
Mark Hamill's not in it. No.
Majima wasn't really even in 6 much. I mean, he makes a cameo at the end, but he spends the whole game in prison. So, yeah, it was.
Why did they arrest Mark Hamill?
Because he's played like 60,000 criminals and he knows all their secrets.
He's not wrong.
Majima basically should never spend a day outside of the prison cell, outside of the prison, yet he still manages it all the goddamn time. Dude's insane. I mean, I love him. He's a great guy, but he's insane. Anyway.
Anyway, back up we go.
Yeah.
Are we out of the sewers now?
No, we're back in the police station.
Oh, okay.
But in any case, tonal balance is, to swing back around to the topic of Resident Evil, basically key to making stuff like this police station work. You know? Because, okay, we have this ridiculous as hell museum turned police station that's full of puzzles, and even though they took a lot of the weirder puzzles out and tried to make the building look more logical, they still kept the core element that this is like a mansion-like police station with all kinds of weird secret passages and puzzles that you need to solve in it. And that concept by itself is ridiculous. It's stupid, and yet the game mostly makes it work. Not to the point where you can like look at it and say, this is not stupid at all, this is completely logical and I believe in it, but to the point where once you're in the game, you don't care anymore. The fact that it's a joke is part of the fun, rather than just this weird thing that clashes with the experience, you know?
I also like to think a lot of it stems from ignorance, because to me an art museum turned police station doesn't seem that odd to me, but only because, well, I would assume none of us have really been in a police station that often in our lives.
Oh yeah, we also covered this before, but it's not that out there that they would just take a random building they happen to have possession of and make it the police station if they were in a rural setting. And, well...
But in terms of deeming something ridiculous for police station standards is something I don't feel I can 100% say for certain, because I haven't really been in a lot of police stations.
Most police stations with a budget are, well, pretty much exactly like the Resident Evil 2 beta police station. Boring, in other words.
Probably got the corner TVs that plays Jerry Springer on the top.
Well, this police station has that, so...
Ah.
But, even within the game... Claire picks up a file in one of the first rooms of the game. She's like, and it talks about how the building used to be an art museum, and she's like, "Who turns a museum into a police station?" It's an idea that's weird, even if it is something that could logically happen in real life. But
I also never really got the idea that it was a joke, though. It was just a weird aspect of the game.
Yeah, it was a weird aspect of Resident Evil in general. They wanted to, at some point in development in Resident Evil 2, they decided to iterate on Resident Evil 1's structure instead of trying to make a completely new structure. Because probably because here's the film. Yeah. Rising Rookie. I think we got this in the last playthrough, but I don't remember. Okay, good. So we get to see this stunning photo of Rebecca Chambers' Resident Evil 0 model.
Astounding.
Okay, so I lost my thread. I lost my thread again.
You were thinking of Rebecca and the.
In any case, even once you get past the museum turned into a police station thing, you still have to explain the secret passages. And the unanswered question of how these police officers found out about the secret passage. And, like, why they're so nonchalant about the fact that their police station has a secret passage. Isn't that a security vulnerability? I think it would be a security vulnerability.
I mean, technically.
I would think that maybe Brian Irons would just say that. No, that they're just emergency exits just in case.
But the point is...
In case, say, we get infested by zombies and we have to we barricade the doors and shit.
That
just
seems
saying.
oddly specific, Mr. Irons.
But the point is...
I mean, it never hurts to be prepared, Ricky.
But the point is...
Whatever you say, Brian.
But the point is Resident Evil Remake, it balanced the elements. It made it just logical enough that you can get into it. The characters don't look like they're in anime cosplay anymore. The lobby of the police station has a fucking set of stairs so that the police can, move around the station conveniently. That's
Not have to worry about the emergency ladder.
yeah. I'm still not going to kill that zombie. That zombie's going to remain there knocking at that door for forever.
He will be a witness.
Well, not forever. The nuke will come soon enough.
Well, yeah.
I didn't say it'd be long.
Forever is just however long you have. It's
Forever implies for the rest of existence.
It's like what River Song says in Doctor Who. Happily ever after doesn't have to be forever. It just means time.
And they all lived happily ever
Jeez,
after
Who?
for 6
You're
seconds.
a buzzkill.
Okay. I just want to get my manga from my desk. Is that okay, zombies? No?
Well,
I thought I said welcome, Leo.
well, considering the date, it's probably like Electric Tail of Pikachu and other shit.
Oh, reversed, so you read it from left to right, too.
I was hoping that the rapid fire would allow me to cut through their legs more quickly, but no, the recoil doesn't make it very good for that. Unfortunately, you can probably manage it if you're good at managing the recoil on the SMG in Claire's story, but the burst mode handgun is not good at that. Not even slightly good at that. Okay, why am I heading back this way? Did I forget something?
Is there, like, an item you didn't get or whatever?
Oh, I wanted to do the film. That's right. Because it's not complete until it's a file in my file list, you know? But while I'm here, I might as well put the red dot sight on the Lightning Hawk.
Does that take up a inventory spot?
No.
Yes.
No,
I thought
the
it
thing
did.
that
Until you
the
attach
thing
it.
that increases the inventory size of the Magnum is the barrel extension. Just like with the shotgun.
Because it's sticking out. Oh, because it has to stick out really stupidly in order to be...
Yeah, and it's the same with the shotgun. The thing that increases the size of that is the barrel extension, not the stock. So you can put the stock on, and you're fine. But as soon as you put the barrel on, it's a two-item weapon. Wow, you can count the polygons on her tank top. That's not the most graceful render they could have used there.
Why does Wesker have a picture of a a video game character in his desk?
I don't know.
Oh, he's one of the... Oh, he's one of those, is he?
So someone sees it and asks about it, and he just says it's my waifu. Okay.
Even though
RPD stands for really pretty dame.
The I'm pretty sure that is literally like a model from Resident Evil 0 HD, because I'm pretty sure one of the alternate costumes you can get for 0 HD is the goddamn basketball uniform.
Is the basketball outfit?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of costumes in Resident Evil 0 HD. Most of them are throwaways, but yeah. And there's like, I think they might have included like a Jill Valentine style beret uniform, but I'm not sure. If they did, that's really cool, because that's basically what Rebecca looked like in the N64 version.
You see, I always forget that there's N64 versions of Resident Evil. It's just 2, right? Or 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's just
Resident Evil 0 was in development for the N64, but got bumped up to the GameCube. We have substantial footage of the N64 version, but mostly of the train sequence, which appears to be actually pretty much unchanged, apart from the fact that the voice acting is a lot kookier. Yeah, imagine that, Resident Evil 0 with worse voice acting.
Well, okay, well, hold on. How bad is Resident Evil Zero's voice acting compared to other Resident Evils?
The Resident Evil 0 voice acting was verging on Resi 1 bad. I'll say that.
Ooh. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, the voice acting in the final product of Resident Evil 0 is okay, but it has really kooky moments. Zombies and monsters. But, yeah.
What they wanted to say?
I mean, technically, no.
Resi 1 Remake managed to pull off mostly organic-sounding voice acting for the story it was telling, but Resi 0, no. It's like the actors could tell that they were taking part in an anime trash storyline, and they just didn't care. So, oh dear. Let's see if I can just get around this guy. Okay. Alright. Oh, god damn it. There's another one.
Just walk around him. There you go.
Okay, at this point I think I need to go down to the hallway of shit mounds where the Great Mighty Pooh Brigade is waiting.
Fine.
Hi.
I don't want to go to shit mountain.
Bye. These hallways are...
Basically, when you've been in any area for about an hour, it's safe to assume that you're never going to be coming back to these rooms again, so I just don't waste the ammo.
Yeah. The sewers are also, because they're arranged in a circle, pretty much anywhere you go can be reached from 2 different directions, so you don't necessarily need to kill everything in your path here. I mean, I do anyway most of the time. Not those zombies, because I'm low on ammo, but...
Do you, if you want to, can you backtrack there?
What the hell was that?
Can you backtrack where?
To the sewers or anything like that?
The only point of no return in this game is
Going to the lab.
Is the lab, yeah. Until you and the game warns you that it's a point of no return. So before you go to the lab, you can go back and get pretty much any item. There are a few rooms that you can't reach, but those are mostly like the unique Claire and Leon sections, like the orphanage.
Okay.
It's a fairly well-made game in terms of telling you when you can and cannot get stuff again.
So, you might notice that I have, like, more than 2 full clips of Magnum ammo now. Yeah, Ethan. God damn. I'm never gonna let that go. They give you a Magnum, but you have to work, like, half the game to unlock, and then they give you, like, no ammo for the goddamn things. Why do I even bother?
Is there a New Game Plus in 7 that keeps your ammo?
I don't think so. But why would I play the game 3 times through just to have a decent amount of Magnum ammo?
If I'm replaying Resident Evil in any capacity, it's because I got an infinite rocket launcher.
I thought you liked some of the other weapons, like the laser gun and the typewriter that isn't actually a typewriter.
But you'll likely get the infinite rocket launcher before you get the laser or the Chicago typewriter.
Yeah, but okay, you see, it still bothers me that the typewriter is just a normal-ass gun, even though you use typewriters to save in these games, which would be cool to just have,
Well,
like,
again,
a save typewriter shoot its
pretty
keys
sure
as a weapon.
No, it shoots typewriters.
Oh, yeah.
The Chicago typewriter is so called for the name for the sound that it makes when you fire it. Rat-a-tat-tat-tat. It's kind of a slang term, really, for that gangster.
Okay.
My keyboard makes the exact same noise from the exact same voice that Lewis
So
provided.
the gamer mechanical keyboard is going to be the next Infinite Gun.
Yeah, from Corsair or Razer. Yeah. The Corsair
The gun
Tommy
brightly glows.
Well, this company sure went places.
The gun brightly glows neon red every time you fire it.
Also, it's the guns from Batman Forever.
So I came back this way to see if the last one would spawn, but it doesn't. It doesn't spawn until you get the 2 chest pieces at the back. So you can't preemptively kill it. You have to deal with it on your way out. Good to know, I suppose. I would have liked if I could just kill it ahead of time and then just walk out of here with sunglasses on like it's nothing.
But you're not Albert Wesker, are you?
I could be if I slicked my hair back and put on sunglasses. That's what the Resident Evil live-action movies told me. Just put any douchebag you find on the street in sunglasses and slick his hair back, and he can be Wesker.
No, if you slick your hair back, you'll be Virgil.
Yeah, but Virgil doesn't have sunglasses, though. That's how you tell the difference.
Exactly.
The Wesker scene in the Resident Evil movies is just... I'm never gonna let go of how much that hurts my soul.
It's okay. We have a singular good video game movie now.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. Detective Pikachu.
Oh, that's the one you mean? Yeah, okay.
And that means all the video game movies are going to be good from now on, right?
Of course. That's how these things work, don't you know?
I'll still defend Mortal Kombat.
You shouldn't.
It's better than Street Fighter.
That doesn't mean it's good.
I like how they added Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, right? Instead of his old ass self or whatever else, they just sort of gave you a version of Shang Tsung who looks kind of like his movie version.
It is the movie version.
It's like, okay, Shang Tsung being here is non-canon, so we're not even gonna bother trying to make him fit into the canon game universe. We're just going to give you movie Shang Tsung. And it's so weird that they did that because Old Man Shang Tsung was in the game already for the crypt. Because the crypt is on Shang Tsung's island, so Old Man Shang Tsung shows up to greet you when you show up there.
And you can still play as Old Man Shang Tsung.
Yeah, it's an outfit, but
I think you have to unlock the young skin.
but it's great. Mortal Kombat 11 is just the classiest. I mean, their unlock point system kind of sucks ass, but apart from that,
What is it? There's like 50 million different things you have to unlock.
it's
in
more of
the-
an RNG thing. The crypts in Mortal Kombat 10, like if you wanted a specific unlock, you could go online and look for the specific chest that unlock was in, and then put your money into that first. But in Mortal Kombat 11, every chest is a random drop, and I think like in order to get all the drops, you have to like do a certain thing to refill the chests later on and open all the same chests again.
Oh yeah, that sounds.
very
It's
dumb.
ludicrously grindy, and there's like a bajillion cosmetic items to unlock.
Oh, so that's like Tekken, but they don't come at you every 5 seconds, so it's not as rewarding.
Well, in Tekken, you just get money and go to the shop and buy the thing you want.
Yeah.
In Mortal Kombat 11, you open a chest and you get random bullshit for random characters you're probably not playing as. So, yeah. The only good thing about opening a chest is that it makes the odds of getting the thing you want in the next chest better, I think.
Yeah, because can you get repeats?
I don't know. Some games do let you have repeats and then just give you money for the repeats.
But if you have money, then why don't you just like have
Give
a
them the thing that
shop?
they're looking for.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
good enough. I'm not good enough at fighting games to want to stick with one for that long. So I haven't. Even though like I really, really, really want to unlock the young Sonya Blade costume stuff, so that I can play that in something other than story mode, I just can't be bothered. I'll probably go back to it for a little while to bask in the greatness that is Shang Tsung. But
I'd say you got like 3 years before Mortal Kombat 12 comes out. So
well. Speaking of unlocks, they finally did it at some point while I wasn't looking. They put up DLC that just lets you pay to unlock everything in Resident Evil 2 Remake.
Oh, so it's not pre-order exclusive anymore?
No. When I say unlock everything, I mean all the stuff that you would unlock by playing the game and doing stuff like getting an S rank run or whatever. You can pay like $5 and unlock it all. They did the same thing with Devil May Cry.
I don't want to be the old man out and say I hate that sort of thing. But
I do too, to be honest. Like the only time I made an exception for that is for Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition, because you know I kind of want to have the ability to start a new game and play on one of the harder difficulties, which 3 lets you do if you unlocked it, but 4 wouldn't transfer your unlocks to new save files the way 3 did. So I grudgingly bought that unlock because it fixed a problem I had with the original game. But in this case, it's all stuff you would unlock for getting a certain ranking. And I suppose...
So it's like the infinite launcher.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And I suppose, like, okay, I get it. Some people don't want to play... Don't necessarily want to play Tofu Knife Only in order to get the other Tofu unlock modes. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
get
if
it.
they want to spend the money on it, then that's their choice, you know?
Yeah. That's why I'm saying is like I won't like go a huge outcry for it.
Yeah.
You know? At the end of the day, you play the game.
It's just kind of cynical.
Yeah.
No, it's,
I
it's
guess that's the way of looking at it.
incredibly cynical, for sure.
Yeah. It's not as ridiculous as the microtransactions in Devil May Cry 5, which are simultaneously pointless within the game's design balance. And
Back in my day, we actually had to play the game.
So wait, so are the microtransactions in Devil May Cry 5 like not necessary because they actually give you enough of what you need?
they give you enough
normally?
of what you need, yeah.
Okay.
This is the zombie that got me last playthrough. Hi.
Bye.
You see, I'm actually surprised at that because from what I remember, I believe it was like Dead Space 3 or something like that. The game, I mean, granted, this is EA and not Capcom, but Like, if I remember correctly, Dead Space 3, like, they artificially lowered the rate for drops so that you would specifically need to use the
Yeah,
microtransactions
Yeah,
to
EA
buy
does.
recall hearing
EA
something
pulls
about
that
that.
shit all the time.
Yeah, in Devil May Cry 5's case and in Devil May Cry 4's case, although in DMC4 it's for a different reason, the game is designed so that you get enough of all the currency you need as you play through the game. In fact, you actually get, I would say, more revival items in Devil May Cry 5 to make up for the fact that you don't get healing items at all anymore. So you're probably going to have more than enough gold orbs to revive yourself whenever you need it, unless you're playing must die mode. But if you're playing must die mode, you're probably at the point where you can't stand to use gold orbs in the first place. So
I also feel like it's kind of a hollow victory if you beat the hardest mode in the game, but you had to pay extra money to
okay,
do
here's
it,
the
you know?
thing. Okay, Devil May Cry 5 actually did something interesting with this revival system. You can pay a certain number of red orbs to revive with a certain amount of health. So you can pay like the absolute minimum amount of red orbs to revive with a sliver of health and snatch victory away from your victorious opponent, and it's an oddly satisfying thing to do. But
Oh, that is cool.
yeah, but they also tied the microtransactions into the revival system, so it kind of gives the thing a bit
Anyway,
of
the
a,
part's over.
yeah, it kind of gives the thing a bit of a sour aftertaste is all.